Willpower is a scam. Ever wonder why some people lose weight and keep it off? I'm talking like years later, they're still rocking their goal weight, while you and I are frustratingly standing in front of the closet trying on the fifth outfit, and nothing feels right, nothing fits. So we pull on our stretchy pants and oversized tunic, fighting back tears, wondering how are others doing it. That was once my reality, until I stumbled across the 6 habits of those who have lost weight and managed to keep it off. And surprise, it's not willpower, fads, or gimmicks, just real sustainable changes that help me transform my health to lose over 70 pounds. Mind you, during the time when the common message was, you're getting older, that's just what's gonna happen, accept it. The lies they tell, because it's not about age. It's not about faulty metabolism. It's not about falling off track. It's about, raise your hand if you've ever heard yourself say or think, I don't have time for the XYZs to lose weight. I know you're busy. You have more things to do than there are hours in the day. And guess what? Those who have successfully lost and maintained their weight, they're in the same boat. Before, I thought they were in a totally different league, but they're just like you and me. And yet, somehow they managed to look, I don't have time, square in the eye and say, lies. Here's the fact. The ones who are winning at getting and staying fit, they don't find time to move or engage in some kind of exercise. They make it a non-negotiable. Before all the wonder and conveniences that we have today, day-to-day life had movement built into it. Movement that helped to balance our caloric intake. Not so much now. So sitting around waiting to feel like moving? Nah. To be successful at losing body fat, just like Nike, we just gotta do it. When I was on the weight loss struggle bus, I would exercise when and if I felt like it. No rhyme, no reason, no plan. And it showed. When I committed to a workout routine similar to this, not only did I lose weight easier, keeping it off as I have for over a decade now, that's been easier too. The lesson I learned from those who paved the way, who walked the path before me, is to stop seeing exercise as a punishment or a value quantifier, i.e., if I exercise, I'm good and worthy, and if I don't, then I'm bad and undeserving. That thinking doesn't align with my daily prayer of gratitude, which is, Lord, thank you for peace and presence of mind and full use of my limbs. And tell me if this sounds familiar. I know you're trying to eat healthier, but most of the time you find yourself unsure what to eat or how to eat. Now being on the other side of weight loss, here's where I went wrong and where I see others go wrong. They subscribe to eating tiny portions, boring food, and obsessing over every single bite. And you know what happens? They hit their goal weight and get tired of the rigidness. And go back to eating the way they did before. And no surprise, the weight comes back. What I have observed of people who lose weight and keep it off is that they eat in the most simplistic and realistic way. They have go-to meals and ingredients for those go-to meals that they lean on to make meals on autopilot. And the meals fit the structure of their lives. For example, eating a breakfast that always has some sort of protein and fat in it. Lunch is loaded with vegetables and a good size amount of protein. And dinner is usually something warm, comforting, and satisfyingly fiber rich. On my weight loss journey, I've noticed that I experience less mental energy when I follow this kind of framework. I encounter fewer, oops, I forgot the plan, leaving more room for, are you team white chocolate mocha or pumpkin spice latte? I'm team honey citrus mint tea. And unclench your teeth, because I am not about to try to take your coffee away from you. What kind of monster do you think I am? Don't answer me. I'm here to remind you that dehydration is sneaky. Something I had to learn as I regained consciousness with a strange man kneeling down over me saying, are you okay? Are you okay? That day I learned that hydration isn't just about drinking more water. People who have lost weight and managed to keep it off, they focus on hydrating themselves. They seem to know that fat gets broken down, metabolism revs up. We feel fuller and more able to stick to our unique caloric intake when hydration is taken care of. Now, before you try to go guzzle water like a woman in the desert, understand that water has to be digested. Did you know that? When water isn't properly digested, our cells and our organs don't absorb it, and we spend most of our time hanging out on the commode. The fit among us, they stay on top of their hydration by incorporating things like coconut water, bone broth, and electrolytes. When I was clued into this, my energy, my skin, and my digestion got better, which made it so much easier to recognize that willpower is a scam. Willpower is cited as the key to success. However, it's believed that willpower is an infinite source that can be depleted. So it's easier to make healthy choices when we're well rested and our cognitive functions are optimal. Agree? And you know what's even easier than resisting the family size bag of chips in the cabinet? Not having those chips in the cabinet in the house in the first place. And maybe yours isn't chips, but let's be real. We all have that one food that calls our name ever so seductively. Psst, just one bite. My gummy bears. They're in the house. I am eating the whole bag. Until I was out power walking with one of my fit friends, and I was sharing how gummy bears were the culprit to the state of my health that I was in. And my friend very matter-of-factly said, stop buying them. Stop bringing them in the house. And my brain went, interesting concept. Like, you could do that? And you know, when I did a mental rewind, I don't recall her having any of her trigger foods in the house. She created a space for herself where she could have peace in her body and peace of mind, because not having the foods that keep us in a chokehold in the house, that's great. And yet life and eating outside the house, we do that. I have yet to meet the person who eats perfectly all the time. Have you? And if someone tells you that they never eat off plan or they never overeat, I strongly have a sense that they are lying to you, to themselves, or they are Rosie the Robot from the Jetsons. The difference I spied among people who lose weight and keep it off is that they don't spiral when they slip up, go off plan, or overeat. I do not recall my fit friend saying on a Friday evening, I messed up. Oh well, I'll get back right on Monday. Me, I was in the camp that repeated Friday's oops on Saturday, on Sunday, and crossed my fingers on Monday. But my fit friends, they were not doing that. They were course correcting immediately. Check this out. They had go-to reset meals on standby. They would eat those meals and then just move on. That was a eureka moment for me. And now I have my own go-to reset meal, because weight loss isn't about never slipping up. It's about how fast we can get back up. And you ever notice how stress makes everything harder? Sleep gets worse, cravings get stronger, motivation gone. Barely able to climb the 10 stairs in my home. My heart sank when the doctor diagnosed me with adrenal fatigue at just 30 years old. My inability and unwillingness to read the room of my life had my body retreating in search of provisions to take care of itself. If I had been more aware, the lesson I would have spotted is that people who get fit and stay fit prioritize stress management. And I'm not just talking about bubble baths and candles. I mean real stress management. They are regularly doing things like taking walks, doing breath work, setting and reinforcing boundaries, and sleeping like somebody is paying them to. Because when stress runs the show, you know what happens? Health and weight loss take a back seat. We might have convinced ourselves that we are multitasking champions, but the level of stress, burnout, health problems, mounting weight situations, I think it's telling us that we're not all that. We're not multitasking and handling stress as well as we think we are. You know, and if there's one thing that you could take away from our talk today, I would say let it be this. Weight loss is not a finish line. It's not about dieting harder or punishing ourselves skinny. It's about building a life that supports our health automatically.